Lupita liked booze. Boy, did she like it. She liked to drink until she was completely lost. What she liked the most about drinking was not being present, that feeling of self-evasion, of disconnection, of liberation, of escape. Alcohol offered her an excellent alternative to being herself without actually dying. She just banished the rest of the world from her sight and thus put an end to her suffering. In other words, alcohol absolutely anesthetized her. As a young girl, all she had to do to evade her problems was center her attention on the motions of a small spider or ant. But as she got older, simple contemplation stopped being enough. How did she choose alcohol? She couldn't remember. Her contact with alcohol began at an early age. It was the most ubiquitous substance in her family and social environments. There wasn't a single party or celebration where booze wasn't flowing. The first time she got drunk, she only noticed the benefits. Maybe she was attracted to her stepfather's change in personality when he came home tipsy. He was generally a silent, reserved man with a tough demeanor. But when he drank, he turned into a cheerful, likable chatterbox with a mischievous gleam in his eyes. On those days, she had enjoyed being around him, because normally her stepfather ignored her completely and only communicated with her via monosyllabic grunts. But when he was drunk, he ruffled her hair and joked around with her. They laughed together, something she greatly enjoyed. On those days, she loved alcohol. Lupita always tried to have a cold beer waiting for her stepfather when he came home from work. But her perception of alcohol changed drastically the night her stepfather came home completely wasted and raped her. That night she hated alcohol. She hated the lingering smell of her stepfather's body and the destructive capacity of the substance. From that day on, her relationship with booze fluctuated between love and hate. The rape had transformed her into a shy, sullen, ill-tempered girl who no longer wanted to be touched, kissed, or caressed. Lupita no longer danced, sang, or enjoyed life. She isolated herself from everyone until Manolo walked through the door of her apartment building's Christmas party. She'd had a huge crush on her neighbor, and that day, seeing him made her wish with all her heart to be someone else, to transform into an amiable, adventurous, and sensuous teenage queen of the night who could seduce the love of her life. Lupita had decided alcohol would help her achieve this. She was so tired of being the sad girl on the block. Without a second thought, she had a drink, and then another, and then another. Her best friend Celia had advised Lupita to slow down. Fortunately, Lupita obeyed and interrupted her alcohol consumption just in time. She didn't get properly drunk, just buzzed enough to reach her objective. Lupita, without a doubt, was the life of that party. She smiled, she joked, and she danced like crazy. Everyone was surprised, because Lupita didn't usually dance in public, as she was mortally afraid of being stared at and judged, of her feet missing a beat and causing her to stand out like a sore thumb. She couldn't bear the thought of being mocked by her peers. But that night, Manolo asked her to dance. They were the hottest couple at the party, and for days afterward, the only thing her neighbors could talk about was how hot Lupita had looked and what a good dancer she was. In Lupita's mind, alcohol became her best ally, her passport to freedom. It gave her access to a world where the fear of being seen, of being touched, of being raped again, did not exist. Manolo had asked Lupita to be his girlfriend during the party, and it was under the effects of alcohol that Lupita received her first kiss and her first caresses, and experienced her first vaginal wetness. From that day on, she turned to alcohol every time she needed to feel brave. 3 drinks were enough.